Have you heard about triglycerides but still don't quite understand what it really means to have this marker elevated in your blood? Is it true that fruits can raise your triglyceride levels? And what about orange juice? Something that seems so harmless. Can it really be a villain? And coconut oil, is it as healthy as people say? If you have these questions, feel confused about what to avoid or what to include in your diet, or simply want to know what actually works to lower triglycerides, stay with me until the end. Because in this video, I'm going to show you 7 proven habits that truly help reduce triglyceride levels naturally and safely. And the best part is, these are changes you can start implementing today. Unlike LDL cholesterol, known as the bad cholesterol, which we can usually reduce by up to 30% through lifestyle changes, triglycerides respond even more dramatically to these adjustments. With the right measures, improvements can be fast and surprisingly noticeable. But first, what are considered normal triglyceride levels? In fasting blood tests, normal values are up to 150 mg/dl. In non-fasting tests, the accepted range goes up to 175 mg/dl. Ideally, your levels should be at least 50 mg/dl. Why does this matter? Because high triglycerides are a significant risk factor for serious cardiovascular conditions like heart attack and stroke. And when levels go beyond 1000 mg/dl, there's a dangerous complication called acute pancreatitis, a serious inflammation of the pancreas that must be avoided at all costs. Let's get straight to the point. I'll begin by showing you 7 categories of foods you should avoid if you want to lower your triglycerides. First, avoid sweetened beverages. Sodas and even natural juices like orange or grape juice contain a high concentration of sugar. This leads to insulin spikes, and the excess glucose ends up being stored in the liver as triglycerides. Even natural juice, when consumed in excess and without the fiber from the fruit, can be harmful. Instead, opt for lower glycemic options like lemon, acerola, or passion fruit juice. And here's a question for you. What's your favorite juice? Second, avoid simple and refined carbohydrates such as white rice, pasta, cakes, and potatoes, especially white potatoes. And here's a surprise for many people. Some starchy vegetables, like corn and peas, can also increase triglyceride levels. Even though they're vegetables, when consumed in excess, the starch they contain is converted into sugar and then into triglycerides by the liver. Third, cut out refined sugar. Adding sugar to coffee, for instance, is a habit that seriously harms your metabolism, especially if your triglycerides are already elevated. Coffee itself is very healthy. Studies have shown that it can reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by up to 33%. But sweetening it with sugar negates many of its benefits. If you regularly add sugar to juices, desserts, or meals, it's time to reconsider. This is a simple but powerful change. Fourth, avoid canned fish packed in oil. Fish are an excellent source of healthy fats, but the oil in many canned options adds unnecessary calories and may interfere with your metabolic control. Choose versions packed in water instead, like natural tuna. Fifth, pay close attention to fruits with a high glycemic index. Yes, even though they're natural and rich in nutrients, some fruits, when eaten in excess, can significantly raise blood sugar levels. And as we've already seen, excess glucose is converted by the liver into triglycerides. Fruits like bananas, grapes, mangoes, and pineapples should be eaten in moderation if you're trying to manage your metabolic health. That doesn't mean they're forbidden, but if you're trying to control triglycerides, smaller portions are key. For example, instead of eating a whole banana, try eating half. And hang on, I'll tell you later in this video which fruits you can eat freely without harming your triglyceride levels. So stay with me. Sixth, avoid alcohol. Beer, for example, not only contains carbohydrates, but also alcohol, which is extremely caloric. 1 gram of alcohol contains 7 calories, nearly twice as much as sugar. And let's not forget the snacks that usually come with drinking: fried foods, cold cuts, processed meats like salami or ham. All of these are high in saturated fats and, when consumed regularly, increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and certain types of cancer, like colon cancer. So if you're trying to protect your health, reducing or eliminating alcohol and processed snacks is essential. Seventh and final food to avoid: butter, margarine, and coconut oil. These products are rich in saturated fats. Despite the buzz online about coconut oil being a miracle food, serious studies show that it's not beneficial for those trying to improve lipid metabolism. If you absolutely must use it, keep the amount very small. The same goes for butter and margarine. Cut them out whenever possible. And don't worry, I'll soon give you better alternatives to use in your meals. Now that you know which foods to avoid, let's talk about your allies. Here are 7 of the best habits you can adopt starting today to naturally reduce your triglyceride levels. First, and possibly most effective, exercise. Physical activity helps your body burn stored triglycerides for energy. That's why you can often work out even when fasting. Your body taps into these reserves. Activities like walking, running, cycling, or strength training all help. Just choose something that fits your lifestyle. The most important thing is consistency. And tell me, what's your favorite type of exercise? Share in the comments. I love reading all your messages. Second, replace bad fats with extra virgin olive oil. This is a simple and powerful switch. Olive oil is rich in good fats and has been linked to improved blood lipid profiles, including an increase in HDL, the good cholesterol. Use it on salads or cold dishes. Just be mindful not to overuse it, since it's still a high-calorie food. 1 tablespoon a day is usually enough. Third habit, choose fruits with a low glycemic index. Some great options include strawberries, guava, avocado, peaches, and apples with the peel. These fruits are not only delicious, but also help regulate blood sugar and are packed with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. Apples, for example, contain pectin, a fiber that helps regulate blood fats. Ever heard the saying, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away"? There's real science behind it. Also, whenever possible, eat fruits whole instead of juicing them. Fourth essential habit, increase your fiber intake. Foods like chia seeds and flax seeds are excellent sources of both fiber and healthy fats. In addition to helping you feel full, these fibers lower the glycemic index of your meals, which prevents blood sugar and insulin spikes, key factors in the accumulation of triglycerides. A practical tip: add a spoonful of chia seeds to a yogurt. You'll feel satisfied with less food. It's an easy, effective way to manage appetite and improve metabolic balance. Now, an important note: while oats are also rich in fiber, they contain a higher concentration of carbohydrates. If your triglyceride levels are high, it's better to limit oat consumption or opt for other sources of fiber until your blood work improves. Fifth habit, reduce sugar gradually. A sudden change may lead to frustration and giving up. The best approach is to decrease sugar in stages over 3 or 4 weeks. For instance, if you usually sweeten your coffee with 2 teaspoons of sugar, start using 1.5, then 1, and so on. Your taste buds will adapt, and soon you'll prefer your coffee without any sugar. That happened to me and to many people who tried this method. Sixth habit, get a medical evaluation to investigate metabolic and hormonal conditions. One of the most common causes of elevated triglycerides is hypothyroidism. When the thyroid doesn't produce enough T3 and T4 hormones, your metabolism slows down, making it easier for fats to accumulate in the blood. Another possible but less common condition is hypercortisolism, excess cortisol production, which can also impact triglyceride levels. So, if your numbers have increased dramatically without a clear reason, it's worth getting tested. You should also check for insulin resistance, prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, and fatty liver disease, as all of these share similar risk factors. And finally, the seventh habit, one of the most powerful, alongside exercise and sugar reduction, is weight control. A recent study showed that individuals with high triglycerides who lost just 5% of their total body weight experience significant reductions in their triglyceride levels. That proves small changes can make a big difference. Managing your weight isn't just about appearance, it's a direct intervention for your metabolic and cardiovascular health. Now I want to know, on a scale from 0 to 10, how would you rate these tips? If it's a 10, let me know in the comments and I'll prepare more content like this. And tell me, what city or country are you watching from? I always love seeing where our audience is tuning in from. If you want to keep learning how to take care of your health in a practical, science-based way, I invite you to visit our website, globalhealthguide.net. You'll find lots of valuable content on health and wellness, all backed by reliable scientific evidence. And if this content helped you, give it a like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on. Your support helps us spread accurate, useful information to more people.